And now they are into another final this season. And once again, they will be facing Liverpool. On the ground at Wembley for us, Alexis Nunes, Nedum Anua and Frank Leboeuf. Just Frank and Nedum right now, actually, because Alexis is hopefully going to grab some interviews with some of the players, hopefully the managers in this game. But let's hear from Frank and Nedum, who are going to tell us what they saw in that game that was taking place at Wembley today.
Yeah, so Frank, I thought that first half, it felt pretty even. Palace were obviously playing, in my opinion, as well as they possibly could have done. But in that second half, it was a whole different thing for Chelsea. Would you agree?
Yes, I think Thomas Tuchel found the right words to his players to pace up the game, as we said, and then we complained about in the first half. It was a really balanced game, the first half, because Chelsea didn't put all ingredients into their games to make sure they're going to have a good result. And they changed. They went higher on the field. They were more. They put more pressure on the Crystal Palace players, and they created chances. Therefore, scored 2 goals. It was a better behavior. Therefore, a good result for them, and they did the job after all. And we have to be happy for Chelsea and the Chelsea fans.
Yeah, just so we're clear, Frank was very happy as those goals were going in. He was very, very happy.
We'll try to be humble.
There's no bias here, but yeah, Frank was very happy. And in fairness, that second half is what you prefer. It's what you want to see from Chelsea. You want to see them near their best, and I think if they do that, then in fairness to Palace, Chelsea are just the class above. And they're so familiar with their time here, and I think it makes for a very, very interesting final. And it's definitely one I'm sure you're going to say Chelsea are going to win. Is that right?
Well, it's possible, Remember the Carabao Cup final where he went into penalties to decide who's going to be the winner. So it's going to be tough. With all due respect to Crystal Palace, the expectation for the final was a Liverpool-Chelsea. But Crystal Palace did what they had to do. Yeah. I saw Patrick Vieira, and I say, well done for the job done, because there is no complaint whatsoever. Bringing that team to the semi-final of the FA Cup is already a huge performance. So I think the fans cheered up the team at the end. That was fantastic, and we heard more the Crystal Palace fans than the Chelsea fans.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the other side of that coin is that as the game was progressing, it went 1-0, it went 2-0. They were still singing, but you could see on the field the players didn't necessarily have that belief or know-how in terms of how to get back into the game. And I think that's sort of the nuances that come with playing. Even though you are a professional, for Chelsea, they've been here so many times. And they knew what was required in that second half to really push through. And in some ways, you're sort of thinking, is it going to go to 3? Is it going to go to 4? Because, like Palace, they had all the attacking players on. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't going to be enough. But, I guess we've got to go back to the studio now, Kay.
Yeah, Kay has to say something.
Yeah,
they've been told to get back. They've been told to shut up.
No, they haven't actually. We want to ask you a few questions of our own.
One of the things I'm intrigued about, guys, I don't know, I've got 2 questions. One for Nedum. Did you miss the train to London for the Man City game yesterday because you're a day late? And And two, do you think Crystal Palace could have done a little bit more, guys, to pressurise Chelsea, get some more balls in the box, use that physicality? It just felt in that second half it was all a little bit too easy for Chelsea.
Yeah, as firstly for me not being here yesterday, unlike you guys who are pursuing a career in broadcasting, I am still part-time, so I was a father yesterday, and I was with my children enjoying the weekend. So unfortunately, I couldn't be here. But on this Sunday, I managed to be here. And with regards to Chelsea in that second half, Palace in that second half, I think you're right. But then for some of those guys, it's the sort of, maybe they were lacking belief in the key moments. And in the first half, I think they could have been more front foot because Chelsea felt like they were there for the taking. But then as soon as Chelsea got a bit more of a head of steam, you've seen it's easier for Palace players to take a step back then. Like there were times, they're 2-0 down, and at least they had the ball. He's like, with 5 minutes to go, and he wants to drive the ball upfield, but there's nobody to pass to. Those are little things where when the belief's not quite there and the structure's not quite there, then I think it can get quite hard. But
don't you think some players that we thought would be more involved into the Crystal Palace game were missing today?
Like Zaha, for example. Like Zaha has been their talisman for years now. But then as you look back into the game, think of key contributions that he had. I don't think he didn't create a ton. He didn't go past many people, if any at all. Perhaps some of that was to do with the fact that I thought Reece James was very, very good defensively yet again. But you need people like that to step up on the biggest occasion. Like this, he's not new to this. I think he might have played the last time they were here as well. So, when some individuals like that, they don't have their best day, I think in terms of an attacking sense, it makes it quite a tough task for you.
Frank, from what you saw today, let's say that the final was played next week against Liverpool. For that Chelsea team, who would keep their place? Who should he be starting, Tuchel? And who maybe does he have some questions over after what we saw today?
Well, if I have to consider that the first half and then the second half. If I consider the first half, I changed the whole team. Really, I wasn't very happy, and I was not happy at all about the performance and the rhythm. It's funny that I didn't see 100% of the Chelsea possibilities into that game, and when they scored the goal, they were crazy happy. I said, why you don't do the job in order to show me that you're really happy, because you've done everything you had to do in order to win that game. I was very disappointed because no pace, no willing to go forward and to press high and to show your superiority that normally as a so-called big team you should show to the world. We didn't see that at all. After, I was very happy with the behavior of some players. Of course, when N'Golo Conte comes into the middle of the park, but also Loftus-Cheek today,
I thought he was good.
It made the difference because they paced up the game. They were more involved into the defensive aspect of the game. Where, with all due respect for Jorginho, yeah, he's there. He doesn't lose the ball, but sometimes he slows down the game, and that's not a very good thing for Chelsea, especially in that matter. At front, I have to say that Havertz didn't have the great game today. Werner was I think named player of the game.
Yeah, he was.
But he did the job. He did what he had to do. But really, how many chances Chelsea had the first half? None, I think. It's not enough. It's more than not enough. But there are some question marks, about some players, the fitness of some players. Of course, Lukaku, when he came on, missed many chances. The one that he hit the post, he should have gone in. So Chelsea has to make sure before the end of the season they're going to react if they want to have a chance to win against Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think as well, there's the idea that they were tired from midweek, and maybe, but the fact is they got better over time. So surely they should be getting more tired as the game progresses, which is why I sort of question mentality in that first half, because it seemed like they came into it too relaxed. And as you said, as a favourite, as a guy who's won sit here 6 times, as a favourite, you have to approach the game in a certain manner.
You have to approach the game, but the aggressiveness that they showed against Real Madrid, we didn't see that.
Yeah,
made a difference. It's why? Because you know that you have to react against Real Madrid, and you think you're superior of Crystal Palace. So subconsciously, you don't do the job properly.
Nedum, if you know Frank Leboeuf has won there 6 times, that's only because Frank Leboeuf has told you that he's won there 6 times.
No, I said he's won here 6 times. He's won here 6 times, not won this 6 times.
No, I know,
but I have to respect him.
These are the little nuggets that you're only going to know if Leboeuf turns up in the morning at Wembley and tells you that.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing, though. So we were walking just near the steps to go up to get the trophy. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I said, oh Frank, did you ever win at this new Wembley? And he said no, and I said, well, I did. Thank you very much.
Well, the interesting thing about Tuchel, going back to the chat about the team. Clearly, in a perfect scenario with rest, Thiago Silva will come in to marshal that defence in the cup final at the end of the season, in the big games. And then the other position, as the boys have chatted about, I think that is debatable, who's play, is central midfield. And then up front, Kai Havertz really is not under much pressure because Romelu Lukaku's not in form and hasn't played well. So he can afford to have a little bit in drop in form. Ziyech, you'd think, could put Ziyech up there in the front 3 with Mount, but Timo Werner's played himself back in, as the guy said he was man of the match, according to the announcer at Wembley. He's played himself back in to be more of a starter on that first 11 by the way that he's making the runs, by his form. Yeah, he skied one over at the end, but he played a couple of lovely balls across the 6-yard box. So he's given Thomas Tuchel another headache because he's playing better. But I think down that spine is kind of where Tuchel will have 1 or 2 decisions to make. The Silva one's not a big decision if he's fit, but certainly in the middle of the park. And then, is there any adjustments to that front 3? That will be the little things that he may tinker with for the cup final.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.